afternoon. This is Mario. Beloved, we always start at the beginning. And where do we find the beginning? In our gratitude, beloved. That's where we start. Because from the bottom of our heart, we let you to know every single time how sincerely grateful we are for you allowing us to host you for another Tuesday afternoon of information and enlightenment, naturally and deliciously flavored by Armstrong ice cream. Beloved, as we have been trying to tell you, the holiday season is around the corner, and so as we mentioned Armstrong ice cream, we have to remember the spicy pumpkin ice cream is available. Yes, since last week. And beloved, you ain't succeed, but you almost. I'm trying to run out a spicy pumpkin, but no. The CEO, Cedric Armstrong, said, fool me once, you're going to fool me twice. And he was prepared. So lots of spicy pumpkin available. So, beloved, well, let me get to that after I do my homework by reminding you that at 3.5, as they say in Spanish, no, tres y media, and in Danish, you don't say that too, 3.5. But inclusion, we don't say half past three. Yes. Well, at half past three, we just make room for the lady I call my general. She is beautiful Aisha. And she just takes center stage because it was her baby. She is the one who came up with the idea of a Crucian history question. So she just instruct me to come up with a Crucian history question. And then the correct answer, she does complement with a full quart of your favorite flavor of Amsterdam ice cream. So we are here to remind you that that will be taking place at 3:30, half past three, or 3.5, however you want to view it. But beloved, we just wanted to remind you that spirited Bailey's vanilla ice cream will soon be available. That's the week of November 10th. So look out for this year. Then, of course, we always have to bear in mind that come December, I think it's going to be Sunday, December 21st this year, we'll have the guava berry ice cream and the grand food sale that will be taking place. So be ready because Amsterdam ice cream is going to be there and beloved. Let me just get straight to it and tell you that this is a good time for you to do your best to stock up with all the Amsterdam ice cream that you could possibly well, store up in your freezer. And I don't say that because I'm trying to promote Amsterdam ice cream and to get you to buy more ice cream. I'm saying that to you, beloved, because at my age, where next month, November, I'll be hopefully making another birthday. But as you are very well know, in my middle 80s, and I said that to introduce the thought that I don't recall ever this island, this territory being under a more serious threat. And beloved, I was here, I was alive when Frankie Pete, and most of you would not even know who I'm referring to as Frankie Pete, but Frankie Pete is the father of uh, where running from it now. But use the X-ray technician down at the hospital, and Frankie Pete had a job at the time during World War II of going around when they had some kind of, I don't know what the name was used to call it, but some kind of air raid drills. And he would go around to make sure that you had no kind of lights on. Here, like everybody had electric light, but you couldn't have your lantern, your lamp on when they had the air raid drills. And uh, well, that's what I recall Frankie Pete doing. But I'm just saying that I had reason to think about World War II, beloved, because what is going on between the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and his declared war on drugs against Venezuela. Now, that is what it is called. But Lord Harry the Judge, beloved, I have never seen a war on drugs that look anything like what's going on in our Caribbean today. And this is why my mind run on them air raid drills and Frankie Pete, because uh, Oh, that's what I was going to say. So much running my mind because seriously, Brother Siegel, yes, Frankie Peters was, well, they both passed away now. Frankie Pete was Brother Siegel's father, Kendall Peterson. Uh, but this is what caused me to think about Frankie Pete and World War II because, beloved, what is going on with what President Donald Trump calls war on drugs is, from my perspective, the most frightening thing that I could recall in my lifetime. Right, that's all. I'm Santa Cula. And that's why my mind went to World War II because money might say, you mean what's a World War II, Mary? I said, yeah, because, beloved, we were nowhere near the war, nowhere near. While now, this is war in the Caribbean. And beloved, we have a tremendous National Guard military base here in the middle of this island in Bethlehem. And I don't walk airport like I used to, but I still am able to pronounce that, beloved, there has been an increase in the number of soldiers who are now a part of this National Guard base there in Bethlehem. Beloved, I am not here to sound any kind of alarms. I am definitely not making any effort to put fear in anybody's heart. But because you are my beloved audience, and I am sufficiently aware of what is taking place in our Caribbean as I speak here right now, that I would be severely remiss and in need of correction and discipline if I didn't bring this to the forefront and talk about the seriousness of what we are experiencing right now. Beloved, St. Croix is hundreds of miles away from Venezuela. I know more than 500, I don't know, 600, 700 miles, I don't know. Somewhere around there, 5, 6, 700 miles from America. I think Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken, is like 600 miles away from us. And Trinidad is just half the coast of Venezuela. So that's how I'm making my estimations. But yes, St. Croix is hundreds of miles away from Venezuela. But, beloved, it is not hundreds of miles away from Cuba. And you might say, Cuba? What Cuba have to do with it? Well, beloved, in case you did not know, Cuba and Venezuela have serious military alliances, along with other social culture, so but they have a military alliance. So that if you strike one, you strike them both. Meaning that if the United States should literally invade Venezuela, Cuba is bound to react. And I was going to say it's our next door neighbor, but hey, when we talk about Cuba, that's just a couple hundred miles away from us, just to the west of us. And beloved, it's, well, let me take the call. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your call. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah, so I also, for this weekend, was thinking about World War II and Trump, but not in the same way that you were. But a discussion I had, I was talking about with someone about the fact that Germany has started on the nuclear bomb before the U.S.
Yes,
They
indeed.
had a 3-year jump.
Yes, indeed.
They, pardon me?
I'm saying, yes, indeed. I'm agreeing with you.
Yes. So the uranium was split in Germany first, which is what the old nuclear bomb is all about. And apparently there was this lady who was Jewish, but she was had Austrian citizenship that worked with the two men that two chemists who had split uranium, and but she had left Germany because she was Jewish, and Hitler was already started to do things to Jews, taking things away and so on. So she pretty much saw where things were going. And Einstein also left too for that same reason. And so she was now, I might think Denmark at the time when they split the atom. But the guys were chemists, so they couldn't do the math that to show it, to prove it. So they sent her she used to work with them before she left. So they sent her the data and whatnot. She was a physicist, and so was her son. And so her son and her worked on it and showed that yes, indeed, gave proof that they did do fission on uranium. So now she knew what they were doing, and so she got in contact with Einstein and told Einstein, look, the Americans need to start working on this because Germany, has done the beginning of what could be used as a bomb. And so Einstein and other scientists wrote to FDR, who was president, and told them about it and told him that, you guys need to get started on this. And so FDR did, and they put a lot of money and effort into it. They invaded Germany 3 months before they tested their nuclear bomb. But when they invaded Germany, they found that Germany didn't really do a whole lot with it. They thought Germany was, since they had a 3-year jump, they thought they were ahead of them, but they were not. It turns out Hitler didn't put a lot of stock in his scientists, and so he was taking the PhD students and whatnot that were working on this and putting them in the military, in the army, to do other stuff. And that's why the U.S. was so much ahead of them, and why Germany did not achieve a nuclear bomb before the end of the war. even though they had a 3-year jump on them. And then I also brought to mind Mao in China. When he did communism, took over and implemented communism, he closed down all the colleges and put the college professors and students out into the field to do agriculture. And of course, many of them were not very good at it because that wasn't what they did. They didn't know anything about it. I know of a scientist now. There was a young girl at the time, and she ended up getting frostbite on her fingers and lost the tips of her fingers because she wasn't a farmer. She didn't know how to protect herself from the cold. And then a colleague of mine, he was in undergrad at the time, and they put him out to work in the field. When Mao eventually realized it was a bad idea, he brought them back, opened back up the colleges, but they were like far behind. He didn't have any school records to go to grad school, and so what the U.S. had to do, they had to come up with an exam for the Chinese students to take to see whether or not they were, were able to go to grad school because they had no grades. And this thing put China behind, and that's why China is trying to catch up, and they all seem to be almost there. And they're doing it by, as I told you before, by taking basically espionage, taking the U.S. stuff and back engineering it to figure out what they did. And they're not quite there, but they're closer. So that's like, how many years that is this found?
I would say, let me see. You're talking about the 1950s.
Right. So that's about 90 years that is taken them to recover from what Mao did.
Mm.
And the thing that what Mao and Hitler had in common was that they did not respect science and did not quite see what science can give them. And that is worth having this. I said Mao eventually realized this, but it set them back. It's taken them 90 years to make up for that. And I see Trump has that similar mentality. When you look at his approach to COVID, he had Dr. Fauci, who was working on this for 60 years for viruses and transmission and all that kind of stuff and vaccines for 60 years, but he didn't respect his knowledge. Trump thought that he could come up with stuff, in 6 days that took Fauci 60 years to achieve. When you look at with the weather, with the map, that the National Weather Service came out with a hurricane prediction for, I forgot what storm hurricane it was. And then Trump went and drew on that map his prediction, putting the storm into Alabama, where the National Science Foundation was not saying it was going to go there. And it didn't go there. So Trump seems to have that same mentality as Hitler and Mao, where he doesn't think too much about scientists and what they come up with. Even though he was praising the bombing of Iran by the military, but my guess is that he was more praising the pilots than the technology that allowed them to do that. The planes, the radars, the evaluation to figure out that where the nuclear material was.
Shirley, will you allow for an interruption? Will you allow for an interruption? Because I certainly appreciate. I certainly appreciate what you're doing for my beloved audience and me, updating us because, like I was trying to say, these are some very serious times for us who live in the Caribbean, and don't take it for granted that we are hundreds of miles from Venezuela and a couple hundred miles from Cuba, we do have a large military base on St. Croix, and it's in use. And we need to be as informed as we possibly can. And that's the purpose of interrupting you. If you will allow us to do what the federal government allows for, which is that we identify ourselves at the top of the hour, and then we will come back to you.
Right, right, no problem.
So we can put you on. We can put you on hold. Then.
Right.
We're putting you on hold. All right. Lick your cream, beloved, because Amsterdam ice cream is just so good for your soul. Beloved, and yes, let us get back to the update that we are getting here that I am most appreciative of. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having the patience with us because, well, on behalf of my beloved audience, I want to show you the appreciation because it is good to be as informed as we possibly can be in times like these. And that's what you're doing, keeping us informed. So please talk to me.
Yeah. So it appears that Trump does this with, unfortunately, with everybody. He does not believe that people's years of experience in a thing makes a difference, that he knows better than they do. It seems like it's the same with the military because you had that admiral who resigned, the admiral who was in charge of this area. He resigned last week, I think, after an airstrike that killed the people from Trinidad. My guess is that he saw things that shouldn't have happened, things that he probably was telling Trump and the others not to do. But he can't go against, Trump tells him to do X, Y, and Z. He has two choices. resigning because they were saying he's only been in that position for a year. People normally stay for 3 years. So he left early. So there must have been a reason. But we're not going to really find out about this until later on because, again, he can't talk about what he knows. He could land in jail because he knows a lot and things that the public don't know and a lot that they shouldn't know. But the fact that I think his resignation speaks loudly that what's going on in this region is not right. And his silence pretty much tells us that. I think my guess is he did this to let people know that what's happening is not right. Because for a guy his age and just 1 year into this, for him to resign, it has to be something major. And he's not going to resign and be saying, oh, well, it's because of health or family or something. He just resigned and didn't say and hasn't said anything since. So that pretty much tells us it has to be because of what is going on. And he did it right after the boat that was sunk and killed the 2 Trinidadians. I think it was the next day. So what's happening is not right, shouldn't be happening. I'm sure there are admirals and generals telling Trump not to do this. But he's the president. He's the commander-in-chief. He gets the last word. And when you look at what he does within the other cases like COVID and the weather, and also the economy, because there are many economists.
And again, pardon the interruption, but am I, just daydreaming, or don't I recall sometime during COVID that Trump had suggested that people drink bleach?
Yep.
It did happen then. It did happen. Okay, good.
It did happen. And I forgot who, there was a woman, she was the head of something in health, and a doctor, and she was standing next to him, and you should have seen her face. But again, she couldn't say anything because he was the president.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. And the thing about it is you hear when they say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Yes.
And that's Trump. So Trump knows that Clorox destroys viruses. But you can use it when it's outside the body. Clorox also kills healthy cells. It kills people. So once it gets in the body, the only thing that can really deal with it efficiently, destroy it, because you can't really say kill because viruses aren't actually alive. But in any case, it's the body, the immune system. And that's what the vaccines are there to give the immune system practice. Vaccines are like push-ups that you do before you play a sport, basketball or football, where the heaviest thing you lift is a ball. But it allows you to shoot longer, toss longer, run faster. So it gives your body practice and gives it exercise to prepare for what it's going to have to do in the game. That's what a vaccine does. And so when it does encounter the virus, it's not sitting there trying to come up with a game plan. It already has and been practicing the game plan. And so all they have to do now is implement it. But Trump does not respect anyone. He thinks he knows better than people who have been in that industry for decades. He thinks he knows better than his military advisors. Look at who we put for Secretary of Defense. A guy whose highest rank is a colonel, and that guy is now telling generals and admirals what their job is and what they're supposed to do. And a colonel is like maybe a mid-level officer. Not even just right on to them, and so, but he clearly, and then look who he puts in for health. Somebody who's never worked in the health field before. looking for attorney generals. The woman, I think he just put her in there, I forgot what region, but she's never tried a case in her life. She was an insurance attorney. Doesn't go to court, doesn't do anything, but he doesn't see that to be an issue. Because what he does and the decisions he makes, he doesn't pay attention to the people who know what they're doing. And most of Trump's business ventures have failed miserably. The only one that succeeds is with his real estate stuff, and that's maybe because I'm sure his father's friends who did business deals with his father, and so in real estate in New York, and that's what I'm sure he's getting information and ideas from them.
Okay.
And so all the stuff he's done outside of real estate has failed.
Well, we get away a little bit from it now. Is there any information that you could share with us because of the fact that we have, what I consider to be a too large National Guard base in the middle of St. Croix? And from all reports, there have been activity that indicates that there is increase in the number of military personnel at the base in recent days.
So that's where they are. I know ahead of time they were saying that they were going to put them in the man camp, and I hadn't seen any activity there. So
well, I suppose they might be making those arrangements, because what we hear is this is brass. In other words, that this is not the uniforms that are going into Bethlehem, but apparently the brass, the top brass people who would be making the arrangements and therefore preparing for whether it's the soldiers, Marines, and whosoever to occupy the man camp that we call it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And I have noticed there's been an increase in plane at the airport too. So I was like, okay, it does seem to be picking up, but I was wondering what would, but that would, what you said answers a question I had. It makes sense. And that's the thing. That's the thing. I personally have stayed away as far away from them as I can, just in case the Venezuelans decide to do some terrorism. I don't think they're going to attack like the shopping center or anything, because they know the U.S. don't really care that much about them.
We know, but again, I'll just point it out to my beloved audience, and if you can weigh in on that in any way, hey, feel welcome. The fact that Cuba and Venezuela have a mutual alliance, and so that an attack on Venezuela is the equivalent of an attack on Cuba, and Cuba will respond. And so we don't know how or where. Go ahead.
Venezuela and China has a good relationship, and when the first boat was bombed, China said they were sending a ship to the region. I don't know if they actually did or not. I haven't heard anything more about that, but they
from the first incident to now, it's been long enough for a ship to get from China to the Caribbean. It takes at least a fortnight.
Right. Yeah, it does. We saw this when they had the Falkland War, when the British responded. It took them about a week or so to get to the Falkland Islands. China is even further away from us than that, so it must still be on its way.
Yeah.
But in any case, it could easily get out of hand, and it could. So Venezuela and Cuba can't directly go up against the
No,
So
they're
they
not,
would
but
have to.
we are taking. But I want to thank you, and I want to keep the door open for you. But as you would imagine, uh, many have been trying to call and get in their piece in.
Right,
But
right.
I know that
As I said, I think
you are very well
have to
versed
take the lead.
on this,
I
and
think my signals from you.
I yield to your intellect, and so therefore I give you the opportunity, and I'm letting you know that the door remains open for you. Back, we'll be right here, uh, prepared to welcome you. So stay
All right,
strong,
thanks.
and we appreciate you. Thank you so very much for
No
informing us.
problem at all.
All right. Good afternoon. Oh Lord. Well, beloved, we lost the cause that we did have. Hmm. Good afternoon.
Pleasant good afternoon.
And to you, welcome. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. I know there are a lot of concerns. What's going to happen with the SNAP program? I was just
Yes, yes, indeed. There's a lot of concerns about a lot of things with the United States being headed by one Donald Trump. It's put a lot of strain on a lot of people. I don't know how much of it is valid, but I can attest to that uh, because I just run into people on the street. Somehow they think that because I'm a talk show host, that I'm totally informed about everything and I know the answer to everything. And so, just in response to what you say, yes, there is a lot of concern. And so, feel welcome.
Yeah, I just came out of a supermarket here in St. Croix, and even the cashiers them are very anxious what's going to happen next month with the SNAP recipients. And I heard that the legislature putting some things in place, but I'm not certain. I didn't listen to all the details. Are you aware? What's the response for the government? Are they doing anything proactive?
Uh, no, matter of fact, all I have heard, and I thought that it was because I'm not plugged in. I'm not on the internet. I don't have any TV, and so I thought it was just me. But the only thing I heard, uh, I was told that Governor Albert Bryan Jr. welcomed it, and he welcomed the additional personnel coming to the island because they would be as tourists, and they spend money just like tourists, and so we are happy to have them. That's about the extent
It's
of it.
always we welcome everybody here. I mean, this is an unincorporated territory of the United States, so we don't control immigration anyway. But I heard that there is action being taken against President Trump. The matter is being taken to the Hague, the International Court. You heard about that?
No, no.
Well, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, because there isn't any finding of it was a legitimate strike on these fishermen, this fishing boat.
Oh, you're talking about, wait a minute. When you said he's been taken to The Hague, you're talking about something that is taking place in the States.
Well, the Hague is in Europe, isn't it?
No. The action to take the president of the United States to The Hague, it's in Belgium, Europe, yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm asking you, is that is something that's coming from the Virgin Islands or the States? That's my question.
I think it's coming from this international community.
Okay. No, that's not, I wasn't clear on that. That's the question I was asking.
Yeah, some nations, and I think what this president is doing is putting Americans in danger. And we're Americans. I mean, How safe are we? Because
Well,
winter,
this is what we're the program's about this afternoon. I'm trying my best to inform my beloved audience because uh, from where I sit, and I'm in my mid 80s. This is the most concerning military action I have known, and this is going back to World War II. I mean, we never had any fear, you know, that there would be bombs dropping here or that, any of the islands here would be involved in a new military action. That's the case now. That yes, we are anticipating, military action in the Caribbean. And that is a first for me in my mid 80s.
yeah, and now it's sending a message that we're not even ready to complete a draft for our constitution.
Well,
We want more delay on that.
again,
Justice delay is justice denied, in my
yes, I
opinion.
did. But let me move on. The door is going to
Yeah,
remain open for you, but I guess
okay.
there are a lot of
Thank
people who
you.
want to share with us, and we want you to feel free, to get back to us if you have some information, because I would like for my beloved audience to be as informed as we possibly can be, because this is serious stuff. So
Definitely.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
and all right, all right. Hmm. What is this? I don't know, but well, I thought I had callers, and somehow they're not ringing up. I don't know what's going on here, beloved, uh, but that is my concern this afternoon from the little that I have become aware of, because as I always share with you, I am not on the internet. I am not plugged into any social media thing. I do not have any television. I don't have any smartphone things, any of these things. So I consider myself to be behind time. And the little that I have come to know and read about is what's going on with this supposedly war on drugs of the Trump administration against Venezuela. I thought was, well, concerning enough for me to allow for as much information as possible to be shared with uh, my beloved audience, because, well, what can I tell you other than that it's serious. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, Mario, I was just wondering if something, only one line was working because I didn't hold it. But that's okay.
I don't know. Either I would say the same thing, that I've been having callers coming in, but whenever I punch, it's like, nobody
Yeah,
there. So I don't know. When I've got to hear your voice, welcome.
yeah,
Feel welcome. Feel
okay.
welcome.
Yeah, so last week, Tuesday, seems like just yesterday, when I heard you made your admission that you don't have smartphone or no TV and them kind of thing,
Yeah.
and so you're not up enough or wasn't up enough on what happened until someone I suspect brought your attention that it had a aircraft carrier sitting in some base, some nuclear submarines under the water, and at least 1,000 soldiers on St. Croix. Well, that seems to be something that is has manifested and is getting larger and larger and larger. The question is why? And that's why I like to write. You used to say, when I was going to school, you write too much. And you got to take notes, mental notes and written notes. And I did an op-ed when I was told at 3 o'clock one morning, about a week and a half ago, maybe going to 2 weeks, that an aircraft carrier was sitting in submarine bay. And I said, to me, from my limited knowledge of one strategy, is that the Trump, not the Department of Defense anymore, but the Department of War, has come to the realization that they are troubling nations because they're out fishing for food for the family, and they're blowing them up and busting them asunder. And that is the right thing to do, and nobody can tell them, even God can tell them don't do it. So, fast forward to this week, and as it keeps going from manifesting itself, the Caribbean is now a war zone. And I think I heard you said a while ago, even with World War II and the Korean conflict, where we had a load of people from the Virgin Islands, elders, men, maybe a sprinkle or two of women, was indeed war. It wasn't touching us as close to home.
Well, we didn't expect to have any military action in the Caribbean, much less, close to us.
Well,
Everything was over there in Europe and, thousands of miles away.
All right, true. But military action, you say, but now we have military occupation.
Yes.
I don't know, I don't know. There are some of them and those that will continue to say beyond the grave that they love what Donald John Trump is doing. I don't know if they care see. And the question is why he's bothering Venezuela now. We know Venezuela has oil, fields, and wells.
Well, are you familiar with the Monroe Doctrine, President James Monroe?
Somewhat, but I will take a little schooling from you on it.
Basically, what the Monroe Doctrine basically said is that they would not allow for any other European nation, because at the time that was the only nations capable of it. They would not allow for any other to have any interference in the Western Hemisphere, and so it was actually, made a slogan into that the Caribbean, Mesoamerica, Latin America was the backyard of the United States, and that's so that when Trump said that Canada should be the 51st state, it was in that vein, and the reaction from Canada is what they said, telling us, as I read, what makes it so urgent, that they put the foot on the throat of Maduro in the name of war on drugs, because again, this is supposed to be America's backyard, and while they will cut Canada some slack because we are white together, that doesn't go for Venezuela and Maduro.
Thank you. Well said. But then you see, Mario, the thing is that, okay, I lost my train of thought, but let me just say this, because to me, is intertwined and it's one in the other, and they keep mixing up everything so they could continue to wage war and other countries, and now they're not only wanting to bust down, bomb and boat in international waters, but now he wants to go in on the people land because it's his land, far as he concerned.
Well, like it says that it's supposed to be the America's backyard, but feel free, man. Call us. We are here till 4:30, and I'm letting everybody know, as a, here one more time, that hey, we want our beloved audience to be as informed as we possibly can about what is taking place, so that we are yielding to this issue, and all other topics are secondary today. It's not that we're not banning them or anything, but it is, it is of the highest urgency that we be informed as to what happens. So we have a way too large. We have a way too large National Guard base here on St. Croix. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's very large, and we've had over the past few days, an influx of personnel there, and a lot of talk about reopening the man camp for military personnel. So we'll talk, but we'll talk. So I'm gonna take another call, and we are here for you. We're here for you.
You go right ahead, and I will come back as time permits.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for your call. Thank you for your patience, man. Welcome.
The topic, I would know, in my mind, I don't think that what going on with Maduro has anything to do with drug trafficking. I think it is regime change. I think the lady who is opposing him, the female who is opposing him, but stuff like that, and she is siding with Trump. This is the same playbook that the United States has used throughout its history of regime change. First of all, they developed an opposition force, was it an opposition party for an opposition period to go on and oppose an elected individual for a country, come up with all kind of Trump charges, all kind of made up charges that nobody can prove. You don't get a chance to follow.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. And I mean, I could just add in again, like I say, I always admit that I am not up to date, but I have been made aware, of Trump just, murdering people at sea.
So that's the point. That's what I'm saying. This is the modus operandi of the United States of America. This kind of thing was done in Somalia, where they had a fishing industry in Somalia, and they started to start dumping nuclear waste in the ocean. And then when the fishermen didn't stop for that, they ended up starting to cause a whole heap of problems where the fishermen had to resort to going out to sea to stop the contact them from coming in and destroying the fishing industry. Here it is now with the Caribbean fishing industry is one of the industry of the Caribbean, as well as electing or political leaders in the Caribbean who are dealing with independent or self-determination. Here it is again now that the individual who been opposed by a person that is supported by the United States of America. And once you see them start supporting the candidate, the next thing is to get the elected official out. And then once you get the elected official out, it is all a matter now of
natural resources of the country. Venezuela is an oil-rich country. And this, again, we said it happens globally with Iraq, with Saddam Hussein, with Libya, with Gaddafi. They just come up with anything. What weapons of mass destruction, Gaddafi, Gaddafi has some connection with some plane or some stripping it or some killing, and then without these a court trial. And this is the part that a lot of people in the international community are alarmed about. That how this United States of America under the president and its military, they sit down and they just come up with any charges against people, violate due process outright, and authorize the assassination, the bombing of individuals without due process. Don't care who they are and who they have no family in this world, and they kill them, bomb them, and then like nobody can do them anything, or nobody can do them anything. So that is international community again, we have controlled the international community, whether it is United Nations, that are almost like a dysfunctional agency or organization right now. They have no seat, no power to stop the police of the world, whether it's Russia, France, America, Israel, and whoever else wants to side with them. If you don't side with them, look at what happened with Iran. The Israelis killed the scientists of Iran, bombed the nuclear plant, and what kind of consequences happen after that? Not a thing. To move on to the next victim. The next victim happens to now be Maduro in Venezuela. With this individual that has spoken out one against Israel and what Israel is doing. He's a target as an opposition leader deciding on everything from this. And as a result, they say, well, all we want is regime change. But he has given them their natural resources. And I can't understand. I know Hugo Chavez and the rest of them are rolling in the grave because they want to know what kind of stand this individual and he can give some everything. Then the next part is you got a sovereign country, Venezuela, and America can say that they authorized CIA to operate inside of Venezuela. Again, in a sovereign country. And the CIA going along with it and actually looking to go and do what is, like I said, is doing globally, whether it is in South Africa, Iraq, Iran, Libya, Syria, all of these places, we will just go into the country, destabilize the country, murder the elected leaders, and any opposition, any voice that speaks out against the hegemony of the white supremacist nation, America, and then they claim that, again, they have the ability for them to claim and label anybody they want as a terrorist, so their organization, a terrorist organization, without due process. This is modus operandi what they do. You're talking about all the military people and the marching that are marching in the Virgin Islands. How much of them do you think is CIA?
Too many.
Some of them that's a bit CIA.
Too many.
Okay, so then it's coming from here, launching and going there. You think they're listening to the station and I think here?
Of course.
And then this one. So the point of the matter is that this is what they've been doing time to time. This is why when you see you hear the protests going on in the United States, whether it's the college campuses, they went and they implemented this project 2025 with the said it's signing and going after anybody that's speaking out. Because this intention, according to Donald Trump, the millionaire and all the millionaire friends, they want to own the whole world. They implementing the continuation of the doctrine of discovery. They want to own the whole world, claim that they own the whole world, and get everybody else as consumers begging them for rights. Imagine you get the black people in America and the United States, the other same flag, claim that we get rights, and they could take that right from you. What kind of rights you have then if you could take it away from you? And then about nobody. Look at how they disrespecting the Ukrainian president. When the African president and the leadership of Prime Minister go over to the White House, and I can't understand why he's still doing it. He insults them and disrespects them in the White House. And I can't understand why the representatives that people and group that the elected leaders around the world would start to stand up as a body now, start to form alliances against the United States. So however they can. You understand? Because this situation that you're going to in Africa where the United States of America controlling us and a development loan for the African people and enslaving them with the loans and the IMF. This is global white supremacy. One of the things that really full of them talk about white supremacy is a global thing. Okay? You might see that what happened in Venezuela as one thing, but connect all the dots then. Connect Venezuela, Iran, Palestine, very big with Maurice Bishop, all of the other situations on the place, Fidel Castro and Cuba, Haiti. When you see Haiti can't come out of the condition, because they still put from the drugs and guns inside of the country to keep the country disabled. I know that.
No. I want to put a question on the table for you to get you to react, because I want to keep my beloved audience, as informed as possible. No, because I know I am definitely not plugged in. So on Tuesday afternoon, I want to take advantage of the opportunity this platform gives me. Okay, no. I want to know what you think in terms of Venezuela actually being invaded. Which you know, if it is actually going to happen. Why? Because I know that Cuba and Venezuela have military alliance along with other, social, economic, cultural, all of this kind of. But the military is there. If one is attacked, the others, bound to react. No, so that again, if Venezuela is attacked, we could expect action. What I say, I don't know. Now, again, I'm putting this on the table to get you to react. Antigua and Barbuda has been the only country now has stood up and says, we don't want any American military here at all. Air Force, Navy, Marines, Army, none at all. Now, the United States, as I've been informed, want to have some assistance from Grenada, which, next to Trinidad is the closest thing to Venezuela. They will want this. And again, they tell me that this has been, since sometime last week, and that the Prime Minister is yet to respond, and they've been protests on the streets, all telling them to remember it was America that had invaded Trinidad with Maurice Bishop, and they had taken over the airport and all that, and to not allow America to have anything to do with it. Again, now as far as CARICOM goes, CARICOM, has asked the United Nations General Assembly, not the Security Council, General Assembly, to speak to the legality of what America is doing. I mean, what the General Assembly could do, even if they pass a resolution, they can't enforce it. This is what the Security Council is there for. But anyhow, so I'm putting all of this on the table in front of you, for you to respond. Now I'm listening.
Okay, what you think they can enforce it in the General Assembly?
The General Assembly, because that's it. The General Assembly has no power of enforcement. That is the Security Council.
Yeah.
All the General Assembly can do is pass resolutions.
Right, and then go to the Security Council.
Right.
But then when they go to the Security Council, United States and all of the five of them, I think it's have veto power.
Yes.
At any time
But
come up with
again,
any
they
resolution,
at least to date, they have not. They went to the General Assembly, not the Security Council.
Mhm.
And that says something in itself right there. But I'm putting all of this on the table in front of you because it's what I am aware of. And like I said, my effort here is to use the platform to try to get my beloved audience as aware as possible, of what is taking place here. Because we have this National Guard base here in the middle of St. Croix that I don't know why they're so large for. We don't need a so large a National Guard base, but it is there.
I keep telling you that use the word we are very beloved. And the we does not include in their method of thinking. We is just hands. We are indicated in color and this island. Look at how they come in already. Which one are we? So it's okay. They need nobody to say it's we who allow us to come in. They claim that this is their place. Again, based on the doctrine of discovery and the stealing of people's land, they come in and they claim that this is their land and they could use it and do what they want. Look, regardless of what the people are saying in the region where they live. And this is globally every place, Australia, New Zealand, any place where they have predominantly black people who want to actually and take over the land and claim it as them and then they want to do what they want. This is what Guyana with Venezuela. Venezuela has been a target in this class here ever since Hugo Chavez. And Hugo Chavez has always been standing up and said the one thing they always wanted was the oil. And because of the oil, the island stable, but got the people are leaving Venezuela and then what they see that was going on for some decades and the case won't change it, the next thing to do is bring up as much opposition as possible as detailed to us in the book Open Game. I don't know if you ever get to read that book.
Yes, South America. Yes, I've read that book. Matter of fact, I think I read it twice over the years.
The clear show you what it did to Latin America, all the way stabilize the country and all it was because of open interest. And
Yes, but that's why
the natural resources.
again, not throwing you out, but that's why I'm trying my best, to get stuff as relevant as possible to our, you said not we, but now I'm saying our situation here in this unincorporated territorial version of the United States, with this huge National Guard base, and now talk about, opening up the man camp to accommodate military activity.
And
You
before I
know.
forget, I want to show that this is why all our constitutional conventions on the first one to the one now, like this one, shaky and unfailed because they definitely do not want any self-determination here in the Baltic Island because they claim that this place is theirs and they could do with it whatever they want, regardless of the population. The
Okay.
population is predominantly black. Look at how they treating black people in the United States of America. In fact, by out the congressional Black Caucus from land. The Black Caucus cannot do anything unless they get word from the white people. So we then a catch-22.
I was very, very, surprised, stunned, you could say, when I learned, because I was able to read it, that the head of the minority in the House of Representatives, this Hakeem Jeffries, that he actually voted to have what was it called, Charlie Kirk Day and a Charlie Kirk Memorial,
He's
and
bought and sold.
that was very surprising to me.
He and the rest of them bought and sold. We got to-
But as a black person, that was surprising to me. But anyhow,
We got asked our delegate about that question. They want
Well, if I get the opportunity, I will definitely ask. But again, I say if I get the opportunity, I will definitely ask. But now I will move on to try to get another call on and let you know, like I said to everybody else, hey, feel free to come back because my attempt here this afternoon is to make my beloved audience as informed as possible.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you for the call. Good. Oh Lord, I really judge again. Why is doing this to me all the time, man? You know, but the car was. Hey, beloved, I know what's going on with me here, so but here again, let me see. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Yes, welcome.
Mr. Mario. I am listening. We as the Virgin Islands cannot stop what's going on, but it's affecting us. How do you think we're supposed to prepare ourselves?
Well, I am trying my best to use this platform here to make my beloved audience as informed as possible because I am aware that I am not plugged in. I am not in any social media, I'm not on the internet. I don't have a smartphone. I don't even have TV. And so I try my best, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I would do to you, whatever information you could share with us so that our beloved audience here could be as prepared as we possibly can because, like I said, we got this large National Guard base here, and they're talking about using the man camp, and we just don't know. But at least next door to us, Antigua and Barbuda has boldly said, we are not going to accommodate any American military in Antigua Barbuda. Air Force, Navy, Marines, Army, none. We don't want any of them here. But no one else in the Caribbean has been as forceful, upfront, and well, with clarity spoken because even Grenada, the people are protesting on the street because the government, refuses to say what answer they're giving to the Americans because the Americans want to use Grenada. And again, the Prime Minister says he hasn't decided yet. But the people out in the street protesting says, remember, the United States that invaded Grenada with Maurice Bishop. It's the United States that had taken over the airport that we turn around and name Maurice for Maurice Bishop. How you going to allow them now to come in here? But the Prime Minister refuses to make a decision. So I am giving everybody the opportunity to share with us so that we could be as informed as possible.
But if we look back at the other presidents, none of them have been bold-faced as President Trump. And not only that, Congress see him doing things and they allow him to do it. And remember, he will refer to us, these kind of countries, as S4 countries. What kind of respect would he have for us?
Well, that's what I'm asking for Albert to share with us, but share your opinion.
What I am saying,
yes,
it's going to affect us financially. It's going to affect us also with our food and things like that. It is happening. We can't bury our head in the sand. It is happening. Nobody has stepped up to say stop it.
Well, you think things like cruise ships might, change their schedules, avoid.
If you see these people take up these things and doing this thing, would that be a place destination you want to go to?
I would not know.
So the whole thing about it, if we are a tourist attraction,
yeah,
and these things are happening, we are seeing it blatantly on the television. We just seeing it.
Yeah.
It means then what our economic base is going to fall. We only come off of here with a boat and a plane. You think the plane and them going to be the plane and not even flying that often? You think they're gonna fly more often? Waiting.
I think that tourism as our number one industry because that's it. That's what they've done to us. We don't have any inside out cultivation. We don't do anything for ourselves. It's all about tourism, tourism, tourism. And I would have to say, as you ask of me, my answer is that yes, the tourism industry will be severely impacted by this military, whatever you want to call it.
And you don't think the food-based area is going to be impacted too?
Of course,
So then the whole thing about it, if this thing drags out, we can have scarcity of food.
scarcity of everything.
After you go, people like they went crazy, you know. If it's gonna happen again like this, how do we prepare?
Well, that's why I've given everybody the opportunity to share with us here because I want for my beloved audience to, well, be as aware as possible of what is happening and hopefully to be prepared as we possibly can. Because our government, we can't expect our government to do it.
To save us.
Thank you.
So I'm listening to you. Let me hear your preparation. But I'm listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your call, man. Thank you for sharing. All right. And beloved, here we are at the top of the hour. And once again, we say, because more than ever, beloved, hey, this your time. You need to lick your cream because after ice cream is just so good for your soul.
WSGX, please hold.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mario.
Talk to me. Just before the break here, we were learning about the possibility of the tourism industry being impacted, about well, our food and all the things that we depend on, because we are 99.9% dependent on outsiders to support us for everything from food, drinks, clothes, everything, and things like that. So we are again just appealing to all the callers to help us to be informed and to be as informed as we possibly can, because these are some really serious times. So welcome.
Well, I have been listening since I left, and of course, the collaboration between you and Brother Q was very enlightening. And the thing is this, the misleaders that we are dependent on to educate us and keep us informed, particularly in the situation with the governor. He's agreeing with these people on this occupation, because he said, this is how we're going to make money. They're going to buy a lot of liquor
You're right.
and food.
Yep.
I mean, can you believe that?
Right. It's how we live. We are a dependent people. As much as we don't want to admit it, we are a dependent people, and we have good for us misleaders who are just overseers for our colonizers in Washington, D.C. That's how we live.
And Mario, how did I find this out? It's a white lady friend of mine, an attorney in Chicago, that sent me something from the consortium with the governor. Man, he ready to call up for Juve.
Well,
There's money these people will send you.
well, there you are.
Well, my Christ. Anyway, the thing is this. If you know better, you do better. And seemingly, he either doesn't know better, or he see where he could get something out of it.
Yeah.
He said,
Well,
okay.
thank you. And we are going to move on, and we are here for you, because, like I said, we are trying our best to keep our beloved audience informed and as prepared as we possibly can be. So thank
You go
you.
right ahead, I'll come back.
Thank you.
Right?
Good afternoon.
Angel,
Hi there, Super Dad.
good afternoon, man. I hear you got the bridge name up to you. Cool bridge, man.
You like it as a one. As a one. Don't make me laugh, because it's not serious. What Super Dad? You're easy at all. It's not easy. But
Anyway,
yeah.
emancipation. My grandson, he clocking 105 and so.
What?
No. Although he said that the principal thing, right? Well, he make up 97 or something, right? When he get anything, he tell him, well, he said, I get up to that teacher, man, she make up mistake. She make up mistake, I get to check out.
That's your bloodline, Mister. That's your bloodline. That's what we call you, Super Dad.
Right.
You caused it all of this problem.
No, I got in bad news, man.
Whatever.
I don't lose my female.
When?
This man, into.
Oh. Condolences, man. I'm sorry, but
Thank you.
what to tell you, Mr. But
Right.
hey,
What the country running?
hey, hi, Mr. Halfa. You know,
Halfa.
that's the best I could tell you.
Shooting quad?
It might be quiet. It might be quiet, but we not good at all. Let me put it that way. Not good at all, Mr. That some of you might make the best move that's done with this episode because I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. Tell you the truth, I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. It just don't look good. That's all I could say.
The legislature said they're going to work on something
Right.
to try to help all the recipients. So we'll see.
We will see, but I ain't raising my hopes. I ain't raising my hopes that I want them with them.
Well, if they can't get this done and that done, the way they spend up the money, that's all there. Alberta,
You're there.
maybe Costa Rica, I think.
So, me that know what you do. But you ain't got your rank
No,
to
you
do.
I ain't disrespecting, and you don't get involved in,
No, I ain't that.
just whistle or something.
Yeah,
But
son.
whistle,
I know what's up in the bleachers this one because nobody don't call me Super Mario. I'm sorry.
right? But the
You
thing,
Super that.
hey, I try to figure out
Eh,
where they're digging, right?
eh,
So the part will be like the empty land.
yeah.
They're digging. I want to know if they're possible with bullet.
So I get it's a good question. I don't know. Son.
Because they were a whole week now, a machine there, 2 or 3 machines there, take it down.
Right.
Go smell the door till the wire.
Yeah.
So I want to they either that or they will either put system or they will add more room or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. 'Cause
But you ever know how the land belongs from? That part?
no. Now that you asked, no, I don't know.
Because they rest in grave in peace. I asked Blinky, I remember Blinky, I live upstairs.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing the inspection, I think, up to now, the inside got the register down in the tax assessor office or whoever we call it.
Mm.
Then the hospital, they're fixing the down silver bar, the wick, whoever, but they ain't fix the roof. So all I really mess up.
That don't make no sense.
I never see this.
Yeah. Your roof need fixing and you gonna fix the floor first.
They never said that. So everything that they do downstairs, gone. They got to start.
Thank you.
And why they don't fix the thing and make the emergency room there too?
I wish I could answer to your super that I don't know.
So, actually, Adamsville, I did a third time, Frankie, get that done
Yeah.
through a little pushing, right?
Yeah.
So now you got 18 dogs in it.
It don't surprise me. But it's telling you what recorded. Well,
A 5 puppy.
is it?
And you got 3 white. Girl, one of them, every minute, she might have help, man beating her.
What is this?
But they clean that place, they lock up that place, they might change the lock, put on their own. Now the place got need to clean before the end of this month. Not play dirty again because they can't take things from the Cancadia and Anguilla.
She's not right. So, look what we come to now. Look what we come to.
Now they cleaning the street them almost every day. Our tongue and whoever, Camille Clark, nephew, whoever, with a sweeper and thing. Our tongue they come behind. By the time they reach some place and they play dirty again. I mean, we have some nasty people around here, man. Anyway, I listen, not a big on them coming.
All right, super dad. You stay strong, my son. I said, look at do that thing.
Hey, we got to go and drink by that bridge, you know. Mario,
I got it here. My condolences, and I got it.
Later,
All right. Yeah, beloved. That's all. Which? That's it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What that thing? I know that. But beloved, that is something that we've talked a very little about, which is how this thing is going to impact our daily life. From, wait, let me say this one at once. Good afternoon.
I have a question. I want to ask Mr. Moorhead.
I am here. I don't know if I have an answer for you, but I am here welcoming you.
Well, I hope you understand my voice because I wasn't sure. And the numbers are I had different numbers that I got, so I'm lucky to get through to you. But the question that, my family was explaining to me that things have changed as far as duty-free items, some executive law, and I think the number that said was 13-324, and something about duty-free, and I was trying to look it up, but it's a tape shoot. I'm late.
But what is your question?
What is this? Has there been a change in the duty free? And is there such a thing as 13-324 executive order?
Again, I don't know if any changes in duty free. I mean, duty free simply means that, the Virgin Islands not subject to all the same duties that an average American port is subject to. That is how that you can get what is jewelry that people look forward to, or liquor, tobacco, all these kind of things. It's that subject to the same kind of taxes, when it's imported here. That's called duty. And I don't know if any changes have been recently. I don't know if any.
Okay, I know excuse me. I know they said that of this year that as of a certain date, I think that an executive order by the administration that's in now has made changes to that an executive order about the duty-free items about at home they're at home. So my reason is because I was wanting not just to get stuff, I wanted to send stuff to my family. So my family was telling me now they have made an executive order change. I don't know if it's that or what, just hearing them. And that as far as to get stuff sent to you, they have to pay for this change. Things have changed. So
well, again, let me interrupt you for a second. See, as far as I know, there's been no changes in the duty-free laws here in the Virgin Islands. Okay, number one. But number two, you misunderstand, what duty-free is about. Because even though, please, Lord Harry, the judge, please, I didn't interrupt you. I mean, if I'm wrong, you could let me say I'm wrong after I've said it, but let me say it.
Okay.
Okay, and what I'm saying to you is that duty-free is the same as it has been in the Virgin Islands for decades now.
Okay.
All right? However, when you speak in terms of sending things to someone, that speaks to me that you don't understand what duty-free is about. Because Lord Harry, the judge, just
I'm sorry.
If you buy something here in the Virgin Islands duty-free, you can take it to wherever they will allow a certain amount of duty-free things in. If you're going to ship it, it is going to be subject to taxation, which is duty.
Okay.
So that you can take duty-free stuff in the Virgin Islands, and just as much as you buy. Like, for instance, you could only buy, I think it's a gallon of liquor duty-free.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just use that as an example. Okay, now if you took that gallon of liquor, to the United States, fine, because you are allowed to take the gallon. But no, if you bought more than a gallon duty free, so you bought 2 gallons,
Mm-hmm.
you're still only going to be allowed to take that 1 gallon duty free into the United States. The other gallon, you're going to have to pay duty on once it leaves the Virgin Islands going back to the States. And that's what I'm saying, that you were talking about shipping things and taking this and taking that.
No,
And that's
they mentioned to me, I guess, that's putting the blame. I know that it's a limit. It's always been a limit. And once you go past that limit, then things come into process. So when they told me that has changed and the new executive order has come in on that.
That is not the case. There's no change in duty free. There's no new executive order.
I got it. No problem. That's set me straight because I was told that I was talking about Black last night, and I said, no. That's kind of weird. So I'm glad that you straightened me out mentally on that right there. And I appreciate that for my FYI. So I don't usually like to go by here say a thing, but it's been on my mind. I slept on it, first got up, and I'm like, wait a minute, before I do so. I'm glad to get through to talk to you, and love you as always, and thank you.
You're very welcome. That's what we're here for. If we have information, it is available to you. All it takes is a call.
Okay, blessed be.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
And thank you so much.
Ashe. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The Sunday's telephone gave me arrows today. Good. Hello. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. But but anyhow, beloved, yes, wanted to be able to. Okay, we do have a call. Let me see. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mario.
Yeah, man, welcome. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, what a lady was just talking about, it wasn't really to meet products for this. It was, they had some kind of executive order about, a federal executive order about shipping items to the United States under 800. I can't explain the whole thing, but it was a change really, because my brother came from the States,
Yeah.
they went to St. Thomas.
Yes, I am aware of what you're talking about. This is part of Trump's problem with the tariffs.
Yeah.
And whereas you could buy stuff overseas, under a certain amount, and you didn't have to pay any duty, any tariff on it. And then Trump was was changing that, saying that it don't matter, what amount it is that you buy, you're gonna have to pay. But that don't have anything to do with duty free, as she was pointing to. No, yeah.
Well, and the next thing, right?
Yeah.
He was saying that Antigua telling the United States government that they don't want any.
No military at all. They said no Air Force, no Navy, no Marines, no Army, no military at all into Antigua and Barbuda.
Okay, well, I was thinking, because I have some friends, they used to tell me that they have a base in Antigua.
Yeah.
But I just looked it up and they said that in 1995 or something that coming over to the Antigua and Barbuda government. That's true. They want them, because they don't turn it over, so they want to go back how we used to be.
Right. Yeah, that's what they said. And now really, I was very proud of Antigua government because CARICOM and just about all, the countries in the Caribbean, like they got their mouth shut. All of this going on, and they got on to say the only thing they did at CARICOM is that they approached the General Assembly of the United Nations and asked them, to pass a resolution on to pass a resolution on the legality of the Trump administration just shooting boats at sea in international waters without any evidence. But the General Assembly of the United Nations don't have no power to enforce anything. That have to happen in the Security Council. And other than that, like for instance, Grenada, the United States is trying to use Grenada. The people on the streets in Grenada protested, letting the government know we don't want America here. It's America that invaded us back in 1983 when they took over the airport from Maurice Bishop, and we turned around and finished the airport and called it Maurice Bishop, and now you want to let the Americans use that? Well, the thing is, up to now, the government has not responded. St. Vincent, they are saying that St. Vincent, has been used as I don't know how to say, but as one of the islands that have helped in moving cocaine, specifically said cocaine from South America to North America. But the Prime Minister Gonzalez, says he don't know anything about that. He don't know no cocaine, whatever. And some people are saying now that United States said they find a whole lot of cocaine at some beach in St. Vincent, but they somehow can't explain what beach, where in St. Vincent, or whether it's actually in St. Vincent or one of the Grenadine Islands or whatever. But the point is, only Antigua and Barbuda has pointedly come out and said what their position is and what's going on with this thing between Trump and Venezuela. Everybody else kind of like, hey, you ain't got nothing to say, mister.
Mario, let me go with this. This President Trump, this man, when it comes time for you to come out the office, he ain't going nowhere, Remember I tell you something?
All right. Well, a lot of people, I'm reading about a lot of people saying that that's what he's trying to do with these militarizing all of these places like he did in in Portland, Oregon, in Chicago, in Washington D.C., LA, Memphis, Tennessee, and all of these places because they said that come election time next year, he wants to have his military take over all the voting precincts and things like that. So we're gonna see this. We're gonna see.
This man is trying to attack those guys up, and the second time, this man is going now. He gonna tell the office if he have it that way. I'm telling people.
We shall see. All right.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, eh?
Yeah.
Good thing. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moorhead.
Thank you for your call. Welcome.
How are you doing today?
Well, I am not as relaxed as I might ordinarily be. I am somewhat tense, somewhat anxious, and at the same time trying to be as openly sincere as I possibly can, that I am very concerned about what is going on, and I want to use this platform that I am the host of to try and inform my beloved audience as best as I can about the situation, hoping that we can be as prepared as we possibly can for what seems to be some trouble in our immediate future.
Yeah, it's troubling times as we have military buildup in the Caribbean, from Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands, all the way down to Venezuela. And, from time I saw that, my concern was after Trump started bombing boats that the Virgin Islands could be a target if there was any sort of military buildup, because, Venezuela have a lot of allies, and with the behavior of Donald Trump since he's been sworn in this January as the current president of the United States, we can see, it's in full dictatorship mode. And one of the things I saw recently, I don't know, I know, like you say, you don't be on the internet right after some more, but one of the things, China was responding because China has a multi-year agreement with Venezuela for oil. And one of the things that they were looking to do was send a naval flotilla down to Venezuela. If that should happen, it's easy for accidents to happen, which could cause, major conflict. So, that being said, the other thing I was concerned about, which yesterday I got some information in it, and I think I heard you talk about it. I think it was Mr. Newton, I'm not sure about the SNAP situation come next Saturday, the 1st of November, with the federal government in shutdown mode currently. And I was told that the legislature, I think, is next Thursday, the 30th of October, will be in session, and that would be, part of the agenda, trying to come up with some kind of funding. Well, I mean, that is a definitely no-brainer, because if they came up with talking about the legislature, and it was in December of 2019, it was vetoed. The Waffle was in the red, some $6 million for LPG, and was threatening that they would cut off supply, which could be rotating or even be in darkness. Well, we've been in darkness before after storms, but to go without food for weeks and months, that's a no-no. So let's hope that whatever resolution they come up with, that it can be passed, and they have some kind of funding source to go along with it. As far as the military buildup, I don't know. I mean, I'm from here in New York. I only see what is being reported when I look at the streets and stuff like that. And I think one time, I don't know if the Navy ship is still down there. I think it was down in Crown Bay. You know if it's still there somewhere?
No, I do not know if it is still there, but as you and I have said, I imagine that over the next few minutes we'll probably hear from St. Thomas Cars as to whether, yes, it is still there or it's left or whatever. But I do not know.
And I think just as I tuned back in, I heard you was mentioning something about the National Guard base in St. Croix.
Yes.
Or even the possibility of reopening the man camp, I guess, for military personnel.
That has been talked about here in St. Croix, yes.
So as you see, we're marching headfirst, into some sort of military conflict. And I'm on here the urgency from, I guess, who that would be the UN, to try to rein in Trump. Uh, even just the fact that what he has been doing, which is committing murder, claiming that these boats are drug vessels without any evidence. I mean, right? Well, this is where inside out cultivation, if we was doing what y'all was saying from years ago, where we would have known, even though tourism is, I guess, the driving force in the economy, but you still need to always have some way to always be able to take care of yourself, just in case. And
Well, that's one of the reasons why we call our government good for not mislead us, because that's just it. There's never any kind of policy that speaks to inside out cultivation. I mean, that there's one and only industry that they seem to be uh, interested in delivering for the people of the Virgin Islands is the tourism industry. And that's about as fickle an industry as anything. Like right now, it is very possible that cruise ship schedules could be impacted because of the military threat. Again,
I would think so. It's just the presence of the military buildup.
well, that speaks to how fickle the industry is, and why we should.
The buildup. I was just gonna say, Mr. Moore, not just the buildup of like the action that Trump has taken, like I say with these boats that he's been doing them out in the ocean. So I don't think anybody's gonna want to come where there could be an accident.
Clearly, it could have an adverse impact on tourism. But we need to take a break, and we want to thank you for your call. Thank you for your concern, and that's what we're trying to do this afternoon here. Help our beloved to be as informed as they possibly can for these dangerous times that we are experiencing. So, thank you so much for your call.
Thanks for the time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Lick your cream, beloved, because after ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved, and we want to hear from you. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, sorry about that. You have mentioned earlier of the fact that the president is trying to get Alaska to be the 54th state. And of course, that's not the only thing he wanted to do with all these other people countries. He wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Well, again, I was answering to the question of the Monroe Doctrine. Are you familiar with the Monroe Doctrine? Of that,
Yes, you asked that while ago, and I told you to some respect, yes.
yes, well, it was in keeping with the Monroe Doctrine, which again, to oversimplify it, it basically states the United States, should be the dominant factor here, and everybody else should be part of the backyard of the United States. And that's just how I said use, you know, uh, Trump speaking of Canada being a 51st state, in other words, or Greenland, in other words, that the Western Hemisphere is supposed to be the backyard of the United States of America.
I see. Okay. Well, that being stated, it's lower Monroe Doctrine on that. It seems then that from way back then, they were talking about white supremacy.
Oh, well, again, this the Monroe Doctrine, you know, was expressed by President Monroe while, the enslavement of African people was in full force in the United States.
True.
This was, if I'm not mistaken, 1823.
Uh-huh.
And so that this is like, a couple of generations before the Civil War, even.
Right. Right. But, all in all, I mean, you look at Washington, D.C., right there, which some people believe is the capital of the United States, is not a state. Why don't they make that a state?
Again,
Yep.
I don't know why they don't make it a state, but they prefer to have it as a district, the District of Columbia.
Right. So it's just like a commonwealth or something like that.
Nothing like that. It is, it is just part of the federal government, so that this the city of Washington D.C. is under the dominion of the federal government,
True. True.
and that's why it was easy. Like the mayor of Washington D.C., is she has to take, the authority of the president of the United States, because this is not like a state, and Washington D.C., is a free city. No, it's a district,
Right.
and a
District of
district controlled by the federal government.
Right. Right. But
So they have a delegate to Congress, just like the Virgin Islands have, and Puerto Rico and all the other territories that basically colonies of the United States.
yeah, they don't have a Congress person.
No, they have a delegate, a non-voting delegate.
Right. Right. And I find that to be frustrating.
But there was an amendment to the Constitution that allowed the citizens of Washington D.C. to vote for president.
Uh-huh.
That was an amendment to the Constitution of the United States.
Right. Right. Anyway, but then you said that why wasn't there an amendment to the Organic Act of 54 to allow the Virgin Islanders to vote for president?
Well, for one thing, I don't know of any leader in the Virgin Islands even asking for such a thing.
I don't know of any either.
You know, like, you mean, that's why I call it good for not misleaders. I mean, our government is more caretakers, like the overseers of a plantation, you know, that they are just doing the bidding of the Congress of the United States and just trying to curry favor with them.
Well, you know how they say we still are on our knees begging, so we better know open we mouth.
That's right.
But let me go by saying this. After I got off the radio with you the last time talking about the situation with our erstwhile governor, saying that the occupation by army troops, we should be happy that the money they bring in for us. Some folks back home took me to task and said, you guys see what the man is fighting for? You want me to do your money? I don't know, Mario.
Right.
Real Babula and Antigua said nothing star for star.
That's right.
Don't bring in ya.
That's right.
But we want them to get to bring money.
Right.
Barry, I got.
Don't go too far. Take care.
Yeah, okay.
All righty. But yes, beloved, I will ask for whosoever might have any information or any ideas as to how this threat of military action will impact us in the Virgin Islands. We think everybody agree that it will have a negative impact on our so-called tourism industry. But again, we've had some talk with this. It's not because of the military threat, but because of the federal government shutdown. There is serious concern about things like SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that we call food stamp, you know, as to what could be expected at the end of the month. With like the first of the month is when the SNAP food cards, you know, get replenished, and all the food stores are, you know, full of customers trying to get the necessities as they get the card, the SNAP cards, you know, or replenished or whatever the allowance might be. I don't know, but between the federal government shutdown and the threat of military action in Venezuela, we should all be very concerned about our immediate future as to what's going to happen next and how we're going to deal with it. Because as we very well know, the good for not misleaders that we continue to elect and re-elect every 2 years, they have no policies to address these kind of necessities that pop up when things like military action is threatened or a federal government shutdown takes place. Our good friend misleaders are at a loss as to what to do. And here we are. You don't hear from them. It's not like they're going to hold a press conference and speak to the situation and tell the population of the Virgin Islands what to look out for or what to do for this, what to do for that. And for sure, Lord Harry the judge, none of these good for not misleaders will ever come up with any policy, any initiative that speaks to inside out cultivation. Not once, but every opportunity I get, I try to tell us, this, beloved, you could start small. How many times have you heard me talk about just, an egg farm, just producing eggs? I mean, how monumental an event would it be if we could just make ourselves self sufficient with chicken eggs? Just eggs. You think that could ever happen? That we could produce enough eggs right here at home in the Virgin Islands so we don't have to import eggs? Just eggs. Poultry is another thing that, I mean, should be self evident. Just like we could make ourselves self reliant when it comes to eggs. Why we can't make ourselves self reliant when it comes to the poultry? I mean, don't tell me that we don't use a lot of chicken in our diets. You know, beloved, chicken and eggs. You tell me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, beloved. How are you doing, man?
I tried my best for this episode. Welcome to you.
I didn't say that, I did. I don't have to laugh. What you don't talk about these good for nothing. I don't laugh.
Well, I mean, Lord, I really judge. I mean, how big I think it would be to just, have an egg farm. We used to have these things, I mean, why do we still in the year 2025 we have to depend on eggs being shipped into the Virgin Islands?
Yeah. Our lucrative, when instead of cultivation house to abide by their rules, they have to buy graded eggs to whoever it is for them to operate, which is our Amsterdam ice cream.
Right?
Imagine.
Yeah.
You talk about this military build up and everything, right? I listen. And they say, what? Because of these drug laws, this is who they after.
That's what I hear all the time, and everything that I read is telling me that this is a drug war. That President Trump has declared a drug war against Venezuela.
You know what it is? You don't want me hear nobody say yes or let me get straight, right? The mafia them is losing right now. Them is the two drugs are, the two effective drugs are the cartel and them.
Right.
Winner cartel. Okay? And again, I don't think nobody import no drugs than America.
That's
Listen, the most powerful black man don't want them from the new year. Perhaps you be one of them. Clean up your city. Clean up your town. Because this is what they want to do. You understand? Use military application to, when say, the town filthy and you have to defend it, you have to clean it up. No, we ain't gonna wait for the police them to come. Young men and women of the city, do it for ourselves. Because they ain't play.
right.
Yeah, they are not. So, it is that you are going to be it. Believe to that. It is oil. Winner, cartel. I got to play some movies because we got ice cream and question comment up it.
That's what, yeah, and a half an hour time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen, man.
Good thing. Stay strong.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Yes, beloved. We know very well not to expect a press conference or any other kind of way of conveying information from our good for not misleaders to us. I mean, hey, I have said it, well, at least I have a dozen times since I came on past 12 today, that I am now in my mid 80s. And I don't know of a time that I was more concerned about military action taking place in the Caribbean than now. And that's why I mentioned, Frankie Pete. And well, you have to be a little older. But Frankie Pete, that is Brother Seago father. That's how we know him as Frankie Pete. And beloved, I was alive during World War II. We used to have air raid, air raid exercises. And Frankie Pete was one of the people who used to go around the community to make sure that when the exercise was taking place for air raid, that you out all your lanterns and your light because very few people had electricity, the 1940s. And so, beloved, this was the role that he played. But again, it was all about war thousands of miles away. World War II. We never had any consideration that there would be any kind of military action in the Caribbean. But that's precisely what we're concerned with now. And that's why I'm saying that this is the most concerned I have been. That who knows? But beloved, it is possible that we could at any minute, any day now, have some serious military action taking place here in our Caribbean. So lick your cream, beloved, because some ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved, and we are still urging you to give us a call and give us whatever information you might have, because these are some serious times for us here. And beloved, we would like to use this platform to make us as aware as possible of all eventualities, and so we could try to prepare as best as we can. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mario. Caesar here.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm listening to your show, and I want to chime in with a couple of things.
Please, man, please.
The Rhode Island, as we know it, I feel you when you say you are concerned for the people and all of that, because I don't think the majority of people, and again, this is my opinion, the majority of people really don't know the seriousness we're in or heading into in the near future. You know, we setting up camp here. Got a lot of air activity that is trained mostly in the night. I know I don't hear them, I don't see them. And we don't depend on tourism here, right?
Yeah,
I don't think nobody in the same mind gonna know we about to go a launch or attack some other place, and people gonna still come here.
I agree with that.
So my concern is this. I know you all hear the orange gentleman say the boat thing ain't good enough. You want to start flinging bombs and land now. You want to go after them inland.
This is very concerning to us because, as I pointed out time and time again, is that Cuba and Venezuela have a military compact. You attack one, you know, you have to might as well attack both, because they are an alliance that if one is attacked, the other is going to support with a counterattack.
Now we're realizing what's going on. This man's whole plan is a whole world stabilizing kind of tactic he using.
That's right. And don't forget the military bases, that United States have right next to in Puerto Rico.
You realize they reactivated again, it was shut down.
All right.
It took all kind of hardware down there. They have so people training down there. The battleship might not be docked in St. Thomas because they could stay in the ocean for months and months. They were there patrolling, you know, they ain't got place.
Right.
They were there. This thing serious, and it has me concerned too, because how will I survive here? People have said tourism, right? But most of the things we consume and use for daily use is either flown in here or shipped in here. Am I not correct?
You're 100% correct. Yes.
It's down here because though these things ain't coming, Mario.
That's right. And we don't have any inside out cultivation. I was just a little while ago talking about we don't even produce eggs, not even eggs.
Correct. We literally will be just cut off, laying in the middle of the ocean here.
Right.
And the biggest thing I have is these people, if he start this thing, right?
Yeah.
And these people is trying to retaliate.
Yeah.
Two things we always train to go after if we don't neutralize anybody.
Sure.
We don't take mainly your camel and your fuel source.
Right.
We got them right here on the island.
That's correct.
The armory where these guys stayed and all of that, that's like number 3 or 4 on their list. to knock out the main necessities for it's crazy. Now, I said that to say this. We don't have nothing to do with it. Gonna be in the middle of it.
That's right.
And when they drop or they retaliate and all of that, they ain't picking to see who is who, you know. Take the guys up for instance.
Yeah.
See what went down down there, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that whole thing, how they got us destroy and all of that. I bet you see how kind of big hotels and things up there now.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised because yeah.
What bothers me, and people ain't paying attention, and I said it, I said up to say it. When Mr. Netanyahu came to visit Joe Biden,
yeah,
follow me, he came to the White House a couple of days discussing things, President, whatever the meeting was about. I don't know, I wasn't there, right?
right.
What bothered me is when he concluded with Mr. Biden, why did he went down to Mar-a-Lago and stayed on there 3 or 4 days before he went back home? And this man is not the president, was not the president at the time.
That's right.
That's a red flag for me.
Well,
what were they talking about? What were they planning? All this was happening, and so it's not spontaneous. You know, these are decisions made long ago. You know. They're not following through with it now.
but as I said, El Gato, you have instincts and consciousness that the average one of us don't have because you have done discipline and train yourself to be that. And we don't have anything like you in the good front misleaders that is our government.
I will say this again. I gave Uncle Sam military 40 years of my life, 40.
Right?
Okay? I'm not going to be specific, but I know how operations run. I know how they save life first before they do anything.
Right.
In Croy right now, we thinking we okay, but here gonna be the save a life in a more rapid manner pretty shortly too.
I hear you.
And that's what we do. That's what they don't do. Into all this pictures, to all this diversion of the way you watching so, we're going in that way. Diversionary tactics.
Right.
We sleeping. I mean, ain't much we can do. But like you said, we got to be aware of what's happening around us and to us. Can't get too comfortable when you say, well, I just don't care when it happens. Can't think what happen in reality. But, I hear you all talking about the man camp and the military base, right? It is my understanding that, and I listen to me, my opinion, but I a little body told me that the man camp is mainly for federal agents, like agents and all of that. They hear you.
Well, again,
They hear.
well, that's why I, for one, appreciate hearing from a mind like yours. And I'll have to do my perfect ever command. I've been saying, hey, these are some serious times, and we need to be as informed as we possibly can so we can be as prepared as we possibly can. Because as it is right now, you know, we helpless. We can't do nothing to help ourselves. And as you made it plain,
and they know that.
right?
The kind of hard way they already moved somewhere in that space in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at reason to use these things.
Right.
And he will. says that this man is rapping with a full load. He rap with a full load.
Right.
But then again, he is because he's doing these things intentionally.
Yeah.
He know what he's doing. He had the billionaire friends and the care.
Right.
They saw surveillance. So, you know another thing I found out? All of these guys, each of these guys already have the bunkers, stockpile. They said Mario they could live underground for a year or two without coming up.
You hear that? You hear that, beloved?
And I point it out there who wants to believe who I start in things that
Right.
I researched.
Right.
And I got my little thing like that, and so I find out some little bodies to tell me things.
Them and those who know you, I got the respect for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy
These
to
people-
hear you
these
sharing
people-
with us.
Mario, years ago, when Mr. Gates come on the international media, and the first thing out his mouth was, the planet have too much bodies on it. We need to get rid of at least 3 billion people.
Right.
Who says that?
Right.
And then 2 years later, he came up with a vaccine. That gets better. You had to take the vaccine. They forced you to take it.
Right.
They paid you to take it. If you didn't take it, you couldn't go to work. In the federal buildings, they told you, well, fix it some nonsense there. We're not going to tell you you cannot walk here for it. But if you don't take the vaccine, you cannot enter this facility. Why are they telling me you got to take the vaccine?
But of course,
Look, I a little frustrated. I'm a little anxious. My anxiety up a little bit because I know what's to come. And it's not going to be good.
right. But that's
It
why
will come a time-
that's why I have the duty to show you the respect, and on behalf of my beloved audience, thank you for just calling in and sharing with us. Which
I
is
listened to this man and the whole news there a couple of days ago.
yeah,
He spoke to these people. He asked the president or whoever he is of Russia, Putin, if Putin would mind if he gave Ukraine missiles. And he laughed. It was a big joke to all of them, didn't it?
right,
And then he turned to the mic and he said, they didn't like that a lot. I guess they wouldn't like that. They got the thing as a joke. Or these people working their plan, you know,
yeah,
to work in their plan. You know, this man got hotels and thing all is not something. He got $400 million plane. He destroyed the White House. First of all, he said you wasn't going to touch the structure. Whole half I gone. He started breaking it down yesterday. So he building some bars for he and the big oligarchy friends. Then. I mean, what about money could do? But you can't do that on the backs of people, innocent people. He used the shutdown as a tool to fire federal employees. Really? Who does that?
only he, my son, only he.
And when we ask questions, he said, well, the people that are supposed to be paid, they're being paid. Oh, God, Mr. Hexet, whatever his name is, this man called 3, 4, 5-star generals from all corners of the world, for them to sit down in a hall. So a man with no military skills or background could tell a bunch of seasoned combat veterans who saw war around the world what they could do and what they can't do.
I hear you tell them that they're too fat.
Yeah, some of them too big and fat. Yeah, he did all of it. I listened to it. See, people will tell me, but when you don't listen to all that stuff, I don't listen to it because I take what they say
Yeah,
and I mix it with my research and I find out what they're up to and what they're doing.
right.
if you ain't paying attention, you're going to miss it. But that's okay, I pay attention. And like I say, I've been around them a long time. I've been in the military, married from 1979, you know.
Right.
I finished 2021.
Right.
Okay? Look, oh my gosh. And again, I was combat soldier. I was sort of training. I was training at what we call an army tank. Big
Yeah.
vehicle school blow up stuff. That was my specialty.
Yeah.
A weapon specialist for Uncle Sam Army.
Right.
Training soldiers, teaching soldiers how to fire specific weapons. Okay? So who wants to know? That's behind me now. I never want to go back there. But again, the good thing about the military, when you do get through with them and you retire, they take back certain stuff from you. You got to leave that. You got to leave that. What's in you is already in you. You can't get that back. They send me to every school I could have think of. I wasn't flying out there. They had me jumping out helicopter and that kind of thing. I don't know why I was jumping out of them because they were fucking fine.
Right.
But it was part of the training.
I hear you.
But we in a bad spot here. The man, I believe, this is my belief. This is Elvis. This is my belief. He's trying to antagonize Venezuela into reacting so he could go in and decimate them. And when you do that, the oil you have is yours.
Right.
That's what I believe.
And they got plenty oil.
Of course, they're feeding the world. Western Hemisphere, you feel it. Look, I believe that's my thing, and that's what I believe. And that part, I might be wrong, but that's what it points to me.
Right.
When they wanted the oil out of the other area down south, they say had weapons of mass destruction. They find any here.
But they find oil, though. Plenty oil.
Ibrahim Traore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Follow him a lot.
Yeah.
And see, people need to take stand. He decided, married about 30 times, they're trying to kill you and so on.
Yeah. I read a lot about him, man. I read a lot about him.
They said I do the same thing. He's part of my resource as well.
Yeah.
They try to destabilize his place and send weapons, truckloads of weapons. And Ibrahim sees the whole truckload of weapons, 100,000 of weapons, you know.
I hear you.
They melt them down and turn them into minerals and make ammunition with them.
I hear you.
They try a million times to get it. He said, tired of people coming there, rape in Africa. He asked a question. The question he asked is this: how can you all come here and leave with billions of dollars of our product and giving my people 3% of what you extract from here?
Right.
He said, no more. He said, no more. Putin and Korea get a smile. They team with him.
Yeah.
They helping him develop Africa, showing technology where he could unearth his gold and lot easier and diamonds and still like that. So he let them continue trading with his country.
Yeah.
Guess who he left out?
Left out Trump, for sure. No doubt.
Okay, he said they can't come. And he told them, you know, you don't scare me.
Right.
Mario, I think I said enough for now.
Hey, we appreciate you, Mr.
From the time you come on, I said, see, I got to call them today.
Well, I appreciate Mr. And say, you is what I call, one of my dearest Crucian patriotic friends. You are a Crucian patriot.
You know we love you to death, love alone.
Yes, sir. Stay strong,
I
by the
don't
way.
keep it on. I don't travel out my island. I don't watch out there. I drive by the airport on what's all this C-17s and fuel tanker plane and things that's part of it.
Right.
Those are part of it.
Right, right.
When the battleship went into harbor, I said, oh, look at that. They went some tech picture and it was like a big spectacle to watch.
Yeah.
They probably said to themselves, look at these fools here now. I don't know where you really
Right, right.
Okay, all right. All right, enjoy the show. Oh, they got submarines and things patrolling on it. So, nuclear stuff.
We thank you for
Yeah,
sharing with us, sir. We thank you because in the next 5 minutes now we're gonna have well a little bite of blow because this is we got a little crucial history question. Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
that's what we bite of blow. You know, get a little bit of
Yeah.
attention off us and get a little bit of excitement in our hearts.
I want to tell people in the Virgin Islands one thing, right? That focusing on all the nonsense that doesn't really matter. And start getting your ducks in a row from now.
Right?
Time coming.
I hear you, sir. I hear you.
Okay, Mary.
On behalf of my beloved audience, on behalf of all of us, I thank you. Enough respect to you, Mr.
I have to go.
Yes, sir. Give thanks.
It happened right there. Okay.
All right. And yes, beloved, in a few minutes, we will be doing our crucial history question. And today, will be a little bit different. But I guess it'd be the first time I put a little of myself in it because the question today is, I guess you could call it, it's on the personal side. Yes, so it's a little personal, but I think that it would help me to, I guess, explain to you, my beloved audience, why it is that I am so concerned and dedicated to this 84 square mile island that we know of St. Croix. And the question today should, well, represent my way of demonstrating to you how it is that I come to have the persona that I have, the dedication to St. Croix that I have, and the political awareness that I have and try to demonstrate that when I speak of my government as being a government of good for not misleaders, that some people think it's disrespectful, but I don't see any disrespect in that because it's the truth. They are good for nothing. What are they good for? Look at our situation right now. You tell me what the people we elect to run our government, what are they good for? Good for nothing. I don't see it as disrespectful. I see it as being a accurate description of who they are. Good for nothing. And the other part, mislead us. You can't tell me that they are providing leadership as a government. I don't buy that. That's not leadership, it's misleadership. And so, beloved, I don't at all consider it disrespectful when I put an appellation on them of good for nothing misleaders. So, beloved, time to bite and blow because it's been a anxious afternoon. So, lick your cream, beloved, because Amsterdam ice cream is just so good for your soul. That's fun. We're back, beloved. And if you are ready, I am most definitely ready because, beloved, it has been well, let me just say, an anxious, very anxious afternoon as we listen to all the concerns voiced by the different callers and well, the hope that we hear in the voices that what we fear could be happening at any moment. We continue to hope that the fear will not materialize into some serious military action. And so, well, I, for one, looking forward to this, take a little break in the anxiety, and uh, and at the same time, for you, uh, my beloved audience, well, you will get to, well, maybe learn a little more about myself, how I come to be who I am, and why I am the way I am, and so forth and so on. But let's get to it. Beloved, between 1936 and 1954, we had what some people would consider the two American constitutions that has guided our way of life ever since 1917, when the United States of America took us over and rebranded us no longer the Danish West Indies, but the unincorporated territory of the Virgin Islands of the United States of America. Well, beloved, the first document that them and those who mostly consider themselves intellectuals, they would call it our first constitution in 1936. The United States gave us an organic act. And believe it or not, that's what a constitution is, an organic act. Well, we had the Organic Act of 1936. And then in 1954, we got the revised Organic Act. We know it as the Revised Organic Act of 1954. Now then, between that period of time, 1936 Organic Act and the 1954 Revised Organic Act, in that period of time, St. Croix was governed by a total of 9. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 municipal councils. 9 of them. Well, beloved, let me tell you, my father's name was Alexander Moorhead. And Alexander Moorhead was elected to the Municipal Council of St. Croix. C.R.T. Brown was my grandfather, the only grandparent I've ever known. All my other grandparents, grandmother, and grandparents had already passed away. So I just had this one grandparent, my grandfather, and his name was C.R.T. Brown. my mother's father. And he too was elected to the Municipal Council of St. Croix. So, I am saying to you that both my father and my grandfather were elected members of St. Croix Municipal Council. So you're wondering, well, so what's the question, Mario? What's the question? Well, the question is for you to tell me of the 9 municipal councils that we had between 1936 and 1954. Of those 9 municipal councils, you tell me which council was my father and my grandfather elected members of. That is the question. Tell me which municipal council my father and my grandfather was elected to. There were 9 of them. From 1936 to 1954. So you tell me, and beloved, you don't have to tell me you guess it, because I would imagine that that is what you're going to have to do. Because I would think that there are some, but it would be a few of you who follow our history enough to tell me that without guessing. So let us hear from you, beloved. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, indeed. My father's name, Alexander Moorhead. My grandfather's name, C.R.T. Brown.
I remember the 4th municipal council.
The 4th.
Yep.
Beloved, let me ask the question. Is this a guess or is this something you research and you know?
No, I guess.
It is a guess.
Yep.
Well, my answer to you is wheel and come again. Beloved, it was 9 municipal councils between 1936 and 1954. My father, Alexander Moorhead, and my grandfather, C.R.T. Brown, were elected members of the St. Croix Municipal Council. I am asking you to tell me, name the council. Look to me like I go stomp you there. You don't even know how to guess. But beloved, so that you know, my grandfather actually lived in the house with me as I grew up. So as I grew up, it was with both my father and my grandfather in the same house. Good afternoon. What council are we looking for?
The 8.
Number 8, council number 8, it says.
Yeah.
And I say, that's a good guess, but not good enough. We not come again. Good afternoon to you. We are looking for the council, the municipal council.
Just for clarification, the both of them serve in the same council.
I was wondering when was somebody going to ask that question. You understand? And I bow to you so I can tell you, no, they did not. I was waiting for you.
Two different number councils.
Ah, now we getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we getting somewhere. Because otherwise it would be easy because it's just 9. And so, the first 9 people, matter of fact, before we get to number 9, somebody would have said the right one. But the thing is, that is you ask the right questions, and I'm answering to you, and I'm saying, no, they did not serve together.
Well, I don't guess the 4th and the 6th.
1 and 6. And I say, we like come again. All right. Good up. Oh, my bad. My bad. Sometimes I just press these wrong buttons here and mess myself up. But beloved, that's what we're looking for. 2 separate councils. They did not serve the same council. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Help me out and tell me, where would I have found my father in the St. Croix Municipal Council, and where would I found my grandfather in the St. Croix Municipal Council?
I'm going with 5 and 7.
You are going with 5 and 7. Good guess, but not good enough. We not come again. Good afternoon to you. I am looking for the councils where I could find my father and my grandfather. Hello? What is this? You get frightened already, man? It ain't for that one. It is for us to have a little excitement as we guess and guess until we get the right one. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I would say number 2 and number 8.
Number 2 and number 8. And I am going to say, we not come again.
All right.
Beloved, it's all about guessing. Coming up with the right guessing. It's just 9 councils. 9 councils between 1936 and 1954. There were 9 councils. you know. So all you gotta do, well, let me say, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Tell me where I can find my father and my grandfather.
I go in with 7 and 9.
You're going with 7 and 9. And I am going with we and come again. All right. Beloved, you are learning a little bit about how I come to be so into St. Croix and so into how it is we come to be who we be. Good wrong man. Good afternoon, you there?
Yes, Mario.
All right, give me your guess.
Fox and last.
You said so number 1 and number 9.
Yeah.
And I say, wheel and come again. You need to keep track, you know. You need to keep track, you know, sir, because there's only 9. And there ain't but so many different combinations it could be. So keep track, you know. But beloved, well, like I said, this is my effort to let you know a little bit about myself and how I come to be the Crucian that I am. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, Mario. I'm going with number 4 and number 8.
Number 4 and number 8, and I am going with wheel and come again. Good afternoon to you.
If I would say 1 and 4.
You would say 1 and 4, and I would say wheel and come again.
Okay.
And I need to keep track of these combinations. Keep track. It's only 9, you know. It's only 9. You know, so if you keep it track, you should be able to pull it off. You should be able to pull it off. It's only 9. Only 9. So help me out to help you. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. I think I get it.
All right. Okay.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Yeah.
Well, again, as we getting closer now, I could say, you know, as a clue, right?
I got one right.
You have none right.
Okay.
Wheel and come again. That's a big clue you got there. That's a big clue I give you a hand. Okay. He thought he had it right, but he said, no, he got none of it right. But beloved, like I said, but so many combinations you can have. It's just 9 councils, just 9, you know. And so, well, if you've been paying attention, you should come to realize that, yes, man, it's got to be bam and bam. You know, so let me see. Good afternoon to you. What is your combination?
2 and 8.
That is better than the one before. Always say that. I ain't gonna say much more than that. That is better than the one just before that. But you still got to wheel and come again. Yes, beloved. Help me out. Help me out today.
I missed that clue, man. I missed that clue. But I go with 2 and 6.
You're going to what?
2 and 6.
You're going with 2 and 6.
Yeah.
Would you believe, as simple as you said it, you got it right? Here, my boss, which is good, you know. What's it? Beloved, number 2 and number 6. The second council, 1939 to 1940, Joseph Alexander, Arnold Goldin, C.R.T. Brown, William Johanson, Frederick Dosh, Paul E. Joseph, Robert S. Fleming, Andrew C. Pedro, and Cornelius Pentany. So C.R.T. Brown was an elected member of the Second Council of St. Croix. Number 6, Joseph A. Benjamin, Walter I.M. Hodge, Canute A. Bradhurst, Aloysius A. James, James De Castro Christian, Alexander Moorhead, Ludwig E. Harrigan, Reuben A. Niza, Cornelius Pentany, and Cornelius Pentany died March 8, 1947, and he was succeeded by William B. Robinson. So, beloved, Alexander Moorhead was elected to the 6th Municipal Council of St. Croix that was in session from 1947-1948. So yes, C.R.T. Brown was on the 2nd Council and Alexander Moorhead at the 6th Council. And all I need now is for this winner to give us his full name, and we want to hear what is his favorite flavor.
Well, the name is Clifford DeLand.
Wait a minute. You actually are a historian, you know. Would you accept that title?
I love history, and I never did. It's always been interesting to me to know what's happened in the past. What went on and related to how and what frame us to who we are today, and and why we are.
Well,
and all of that. So
I am just so proud of you. I am just so proud of you because, well, as you can see now, how I am invested in St. Croix history, and I mean, I couldn't escape it because of the way I was raised. The household I was raised in. But so I have to publicly, laud you and give you all the respect and praise that is due you, Mr. DeLand. And again, I would like to offer you a full quart of rum raisin. Or are you going to cheese today?
No, sir. No, sir. No change.
You stick with your rum raisin?
That's right.
Beloved, let us give him a big round of applause because Mr. DeLand, well, he could call it a guest, but beloved, he somehow does manage the difficult ones. The difficult ones, he does always manage to cut through all the wish and the bush and the kasha, tan and everything that he will. And he does cut and go through. And next thing you know, Clifford DeLand is the winner. Congratulations to you, man. Enjoy your ice cream.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Beloved, what y'all think about that one? Eh? What y'all think about that one? What I think here. And again, beloved, if you had been paid attention, you would have realized that when it wasn't as difficult as it might have seemed to you. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Mary.
Yes.
He catch me, boy.
They catch you.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I don't know, but he is. I got to congratulate him, son, because
Yeah, man. Yeah.
he like to take the tough ones. Them somehow they want them that you go cut through all the cash and to get to. Somehow he does manage this. There he is, repping the land. You know, he loves from raising ice cream. You know. But yes, indeed.
Yeah, through a process of elimination and against it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Serious.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me. That's good. That, I was saying that your grandfather can be so high up on the number,
Right.
and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your father passed.
And you're right. And you're right. You're right. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
He and brother Hatch went in the first one at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyhow, hey, we got the top of the hour. We're gonna take our final break here, and we coming back for the last lap.
Okay, Harry.
Stay strong. All right.
Yeah, man.
Beloved, we had our little bite and blow, and we are coming back to, well, the situation that we find ourselves in, beloved. And once again, I am imploring to my beloved audience, if you feel you have some information that would be of value to us to know, to prepare ourselves, share, because, beloved, tomorrow is promised to no one. All we know is that we are in a serious, serious situation here. And with the likes of the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, in charge, you just don't know. And so I am glad we had the opportunity, and I hope you will now lick your cream, because Amchang ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved. Back in time for our last lap. And again, we urge you, you have any information to share with us, or for that matter, you might have a question that we might be able to help you with. But this is the last lap, so let's do it. And let me help you uh, with some information that we did not cover this afternoon. For instance, the fact that we praised Antigua and Barbuda for coming out and formally making their position clear that they want no part of no American military anything. And we also spoke about Grenada having to answer to the American military who want to be able to use Grenada. And the people of Grenada have been protesting in the street that they don't want the Americans to think. But the Prime Minister is, well, undecided. Up to now, he has not given an answer. He hasn't said yes, he hasn't said no, he hasn't said maybe, he hasn't said anything. So we need to say what about that. But, beloved, we haven't said anything about Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago has made themselves allied with America. And they say that America's war on drugs is a good thing, and they support that. So they are supportive of President Trump, Prime Minister, what's her name? So Indian name, Bisesa. Bisesa, that's her name. Prime Minister Kamala Bisesa has made it known that she supports President Trump's war on drugs. Well, beloved, she also claims to be in support of Guyana. Now, we haven't mentioned Guyana, but Guyana and Venezuela have had some contention going on for a couple of years well now. This is before all of this war on drugs thing with Trump and whatnot. This is at least 2 years now. There is a dispute about the border that separates Guyana and Venezuela. And it's a region called Essequibo. Ever heard of Essequibo? Well, Essequibo is this area where the border between Guyana and Venezuela is supposed to be placed. And there is a dispute, a disagreement as to who controls the area. It is known as Essequibo. And this area just happens to be very rich in minerals and petroleum oil. Yes, So there is much contention between the two countries as to who is supposed to be in charge of this region called Essequibo, where the disputed border exists. And this is where the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago comes in, because on the one hand, she is saying she supports President Trump's war on drugs against Venezuela, while at the same time saying she is in support of Guyana in the dispute over Essequibo with Venezuela. So where does she stand? The only thing we could say is that she is not on Venezuela's side. She is with Guyana against Venezuela, and she is with Trump against Venezuela. So, beloved, I have been reading that many of the experts think that if the military action that we all fear will take place actually breaks out, that Trinidad and Tobago are going to find themselves very much involved in this military action. And the question has been raised over and over. Why did Prime Minister Bissesa even have to make these pronouncements? But she has publicly said these things, and I've read them. She supports Guyana against Venezuela, and she supports Trump against Venezuela. So, if military action breaks out, beloved, don't you see the situation that Trinidad and Tobago finds itself in because of these statements and these positions that Prime Minister Bissesa has taken? But again, beloved, it's yet another dimension, another facet to this, well, concern that we all have, that they will indeed be a war, and that we have never had such a thing in the Caribbean, but it seems very likely, matter of fact, more likely than not, it seems that we are going to have military action, because I think we will all agree that President Trump of the United States is very much out to cause problems for Venezuela, and this war on drugs is, well, we shall see. Well, let me go to the phone. Good afternoon. Thank you for your call. Welcome.
Yeah, Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the president that win again.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I was with my chiropractor, so I didn't get to listen to that part of it. But what the question was?
The question was, you know, uh, both my father and my grandfather were elected members of the St. Croix Municipal Council.
Right.
9 municipal councils existed between the Organic Act of 1936 and the Revised Organic Act of 1954. There were a total of 9 of them. The question was, which ones did my father, Alexander Moorhead, and my grandfather, C.R.T. Brown, which ones were they elected to? And Clefrin Deland said, your grandfather was in number 2, and your father was in number 6. And he was absolutely correct.
You mean which one was elected for the 36 and which one for the 54?
What are you talking about 36?
It was 1936 for the.
No. When I mentioned 1936, it's because this was the very first civil rights laws that we got. Many people refer to it as our first constitution.
Right.
But this was the 1936 Organic Act.
Right.
Okay? Now then, in 1954, we had the Revised Organic Act.
And which we still have.
Could you? Well, between 1936 and 1954, there existed 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 St. Croix municipal councils. And the question was, which ones was my father and my grandfather elected to?
Oh, okay. So it was which one you said was again? Is that he was
my grandfather was elected to the 2nd municipal council in 1938. That was, you know, and my father was elected to the 6th municipal council.
Okay, all right. Well, they helped shape the history of the Virgin Islands, both of them.
Well, they helped shape the history of my head because I lived in the same. I was raised in the same house with them.
Well, your head could be hard and you had better land.
There you go.
No wonder you're so profound just in history.
Go on, but I had no choice.
Yeah, but let me tell you something quick. What I learned about you. Your sister, your one and only sister, took it out at 6 years out of school. And she said that you went to Puerto Rico to school from such a young age.
Yes.
That there came a time you couldn't speak English at all. You were speaking Spanish straight.
And that is true, yes.
Hey, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah. Anyway, you get up there.
Thank you. You stay strong now. All right.
Bye.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your call. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Welcome back. Yes.
Thanks. They talk about the different countries and where they line up, with the U.S. or against them. I would suggest to you follow the money. And
follow the money. Yes. That's always good advice. Follow the money. Yes, I agree.
So the Trinidad, let me see if I get this straight. So they have gotten somewhat recently, a lot of investment from the U.S.
Yes.
Before China was invested in a lot of these countries, it was
example, Antigua, they've gotten a lot there, airport and other things.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised that they are not side, and they don't have a lot with the U.S. They don't have a lot of trading with the U.S. Trinidad has a lot of trading with the U.S. In fact, the U.S. is the country with the largest amount of trading taking place with in Trinidad.
Okay.
So I'm not surprised that they would side with Trump, because they're getting more trade from them than from China.
Right.
Grenada, there was an article just 8 days ago that Grenada was saying that they have seen a spike in their investment for citizenship program, where you invest a certain amount and get. I think they had a major spike. 800 and something people bought citizenship.
Wow.
And
That's a lot.
400 and something are Americans.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes. And I think they got something like 103 million EC dollars from that.
Okay.
So I am not surprised Grenada is siding with the U.S.
No. Slow down. Right now.
No, they haven't made a decision.
Right. That's it. But the
So I
people,
guess they're waiting.
the
They're waiting to
people,
see what
the people are raising serious protests because they are recalling how the United States treated Grenada with Maurice Bishop.
right.
And America had taken over the airport. And when Grenada got the airport back, and then named it for Maurice Bishop, it is still named after. It's the Maurice Bishop Airport.
But that was much longer than 8 years ago.
That was in 1980s. 1980s.
Right. So,
But the thing is, but somehow it seems to be acting on the Prime Minister because he has been unable to make a decision.
Right. And my guess is he's waiting to hear back from China what they have to offer. The Americans put some stuff on the table, and they're probably waiting to see if China is going to counter that offer. And then you will get to hit their decision.
Right.
So
Follow the money.
Follow
the money.
Follow the money. Yeah, it makes things much clearer as to what's going on. It explains everything.
Right.
And Trump has been throwing around these tariffs as reward or punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nothing to sneeze about. Governments have to be concerned about their economy. If their economy is bad, their people are going to get mad. If the economy is good, the people are happy with you, and you get put back in.
Right.
So it's not a trivial thing, and this is what, and I'm sure there's a lot of bargaining taking place at this minute with Grenada between the Americans and the Chinese.
Okay, I hear you. And again, and I appreciate you sharing this with our beloved because it's not like we are, well, let me speak for myself. I am certainly not plugged in and up to date, and all of this information. And so I have to express my gratitude to you.
This is something I hadn't really been paying. And, it's crossed my mind, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? But it's your conversation that made me go and take a look at these. I kind of figured that that's what was probably the case. And when I looked up, that's what I'm getting back. That it's basically who they get in the better ball.
And they've had CARICOM. They've had CARICOM. They approached CARICOM to give them, a resolution as to the legality of, the president of the United States actually murdering people in international waters.
Yeah.
Not the Security Council now, not the Security Council, but the General Assembly is where they went to.
Yeah, and I think just about everybody can answer that question. And, you know, it's not right. You know, they're not bringing any proof of anything. There hasn't been any war that has been declared. So, okay, these people are coming after us. They have the DEA that can arrest these people, carry them to court, and with the proof, and show, yes, indeed, they are criminals. They are drug smugglers.
Right.
But it's not, at this point, nobody but the military knows whether these people were drug smugglers or fishermen.
Right.
Nobody in the U.S., nobody across, you know, that unless they have, you know, like China might know because they have satellites and they have other sources. They have their equivalent to the CIA who can give them. But the people of the nation have no clue. None of them can honestly be on a lie detector and say that they know for sure
Right.
that these people were drug smugglers.
Right.
They haven't found. There's only in one case they said they found floated debris to support it. The other 10 boats that were blown up, they have not even said, okay, this is the debris that we have collected. And
But
so,
as I've read, and I'm sorry because I'm time I'm interrupting you, but
that's right.
I just want to point out that what I have read, and I guess I'm late coming to the table, but I have read that from the first one, you know, the reaction by many has been, but what happened to the Coast Guard? Is this
Yes.
is this the official duty
This is not
of
even
Coast
a
Guard
to our
to
coast.
actually,
The
you
Coast
know,
Guard don't be out there. This is so far from our coast. Because the Coast Guard wouldn't be involved in it. This is international waters.
yeah,
So what they usually do is wait till when they come into U.S. waters and apprehend them, and they can't because they see them. They have, just like how they see them to blow them up. They see them and can know wait till when they come into. How many of people have been caught smuggling drugs, trying to smuggle drugs to Cisco and St. Thomas, primarily St. Thomas,
uh,
so they've been catching these guys. You know, they can. If anything he wanted to say is, okay, I'm going to put more money. The money he's using for the military to do this, if he put that money into the DEA, they can do this, or the Coast Guard, they can do this, or, you know, they can do this legally.
yeah,
If you could catch them out in the international and see them coming, that's hundreds of miles away. You have plenty of time to prepare and catch them. To intercept them when they enter U.S. waters. What is the reason that you can't wait to intercept them in U.S. waters using the Coast Guard and the DEA, who are the legal entities to handle this, and then bring them to a court and say, this is the evidence. This is what we know, and we're 100% confident that these people are drug dealers.
well, what you are now stating is pretty much what I've been reading, you know, about this, and it's from the very first strike. It was like, well, why do they have to just blow them up? You know, why can't
And
you?
not come up with any proof even after they blow them up.
Right.
And here we found these drugs floating. The military has collected them. Only in one of the 11 have they said they have found floating debris. And when you blow them up, the stuff don't just disappear. If there was drugs aboard, there will be some floating, and they usually have them with flotation devices on in case they have to dump them, and then they can come back later for them. Why is it only in one of the 11 have they said they have found floating debris? And I said the whole thing is totally unnecessary. If you want the military to help, you might help with the radar. And so you could tell the Coast Guard and the DEA, okay, this boat is coming in here, be here to pick them up.
Right. You know, well, like I said, that's what I've been.
Going up is to cover yourself that these people aren't really smugglers, and nobody's gonna know because they're dead.
Yeah.
Or in the case of the two, they sent back to their country, and so only their country is gonna know whether or not they were
Yeah.
smuggling or not.
Well,
Yeah.
I am most appreciative. We've come to the end and we've had a very informative afternoon. Thanks to you and many others like you. Again, I hope we are a little bit better informed than we were before the program. And we'll keep hope alive that, hey, we don't have to make too much use of the information that we learned today, and that it will just turn out to be a lot of bluster and no actual shooting and bombing and killing and blood loss. So I thank you, and I thank you on behalf of all my beloved audience.
More than 40.
Well,
Trump seems to want this.
we'll keep hope alive.
Maybe somebody will talk some sense into
All
it.
right. But we are at the end now. We gotta go. Thank you. Thank you so much. And beloved, as always, lick your cream. Because Armstrong ice cream is just so good for your soul. And then I always gotta tell you, that's why we need the solidarity. It don't matter how big a basket they give us. One, we could fill up that basket just as long as we do it. Get down.